Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Dina and today is Thursday. It is July 18th and I am here to give you a status report on a current whip, a new start, and a little bit of haul. So let's get started. I've been working on a lot of Christmas stitching, as you know, for the month of July. And I mentioned in my latest video that I had planned on working on a current whip as often as I possibly could in a hope to get it finished this month or next month. Now I'm talking about Flowers of the Holy Night by Glendon Place. Well, I am making great progress and I wanted to share that with you right now. I have finished the cross-stitching portion of Flowers of the Holy Night, and I want to share that with you. That means now I'm ready to start beading this piece. And since it's only the 18th of the month, I just might be able to bead the whole thing this month, if I can spend some time doing that. That is my goal anyway. So let me just share with you what it looks like. I think she's lovely. I'm really, really pleased with how this piece has turned out. Now I have to press it. It's been on my rod, so it's not too terribly wrinkled, but I want to press it and make sure all the stitches and everything is nice and smooth. And then I will bead it and hopefully have it stretched and framed. So here's the finish of the actual cross stitching of this beautiful pattern. I just think she's lovely, absolutely lovely, and I'm very, very happy with how this turned out. And so let me put her aside. I will share with you the reason I have haul today is because I've been enabled. It's not bad enough that I watch your videos and get enabled, but I even have people that are personal shoppers that will send me messages through Facebook Messenger and say, have you seen this pattern? This one is got your name all over it. Most of you know that I like to stitch Raggedy Ann things for my friend Cheryl, who collects and sells Raggedy Ann collectibles. And I recently was made aware that this Paula Vaughn Quilts for All Seasons book has a Raggedy Ann in the December photo. This is the December picture, and that little doll in that wagon is Raggedy Ann. Now, I went first of all to a few of my friends who have a pretty substantial stash, and I just sent them a message asking, do you happen to have this old book in your stash that I could borrow? And I didn't find any of the immediate people that I spoke with that had it. But one of them sent me a notice, you know, that this was there. So then I was watching Lisa's video where she was highlighting her three designers of choice through our collaboration videos that we did last Sunday. And she shared this book. And she flipped it around and there was the December one. So then I knew which one of these booklets I needed to find. So I went on eBay and I found several listings for it. And some of them were $28, $30, $35 for this book. This one was not. This was very reasonable. It was probably what the person paid for it in the first place. No, it was less than that. This is $19.95. And the listing that I had was to make a bid, and then the minimum bid was $10. So I went above that just a little bit to see if I could get their attention. And I put a bid in, and I had a notification that there was someone watching that posting. And so I thought I'm probably going to get into a bidding war here for pretty quick. No, my bid was accepted just like that. And I had this booklet. So I'm very excited. Now, I don't know what I will wind up stitching, whether I'll do the whole piece or whether I will just lift a part of this out and make a beautiful small Christmas pillow ornament or flat fold or something from, you know, and just get enough of that quilt in the background to give you an idea. Since I'm already working on a fairly large piece for her with a, you know, the Timberlake piece that I'm doing, that would just be a kind of a icing on the cake, I think, to do that. And I'm not sure I can get this done this year at all. I'm beginning to have a fairly large list of gifts that I'm trying to stitch for this year, but I'm very happy with my haul. Was glad to get it. So happy to have that. Now, let's talk about a new start. In my last video, I mentioned that I had read the prompts coming up for that week in School of Magical Stitches. They post them on Sunday, and so I always try to read them on Sunday night and make a list of what they are and start thinking about them so that by the time Monday comes and we can get started on them, I have an idea, you know, of what I'm going to do. And so I had written the list down, and I had something in mind immediately for 4 of the 5 prompts. But the one that said you had to do something with kitty cats or stitch with something that had kittens on it, I didn't know what I was going to do. I actually thought I was going to have to either stitch penalty stitches or not get credit for that one at all. Because I didn't have anything with a kitten in it or a cat in it at this time. I just didn't. And then I realized, I don't know when this hit me, several days in, probably Wednesday of this week, it hit me that I had a piece that had been gifted to me by my friend Gloria. Hi, Gloria, if you're watching. Because she had stitched this twice for 2 people that she wanted to gift it to. And when she found out my son and husband were going to Japan, she said, would you like to stitch this for them because it's quick? And I said yes, and she sent it to me. So she sent me this. Fido Stitch Studio. It's the Japanese Lucky Cat. And I'm sure I'm not going to say this correctly, but it looks like it's Manaki Nico. Anyway, this is the cutest little thing. It is very small, and it is charted for anchor threads, which I do not have. But I went online and found an anchor to DMC conversion, and I just converted mine to DMC. So I thought, here you go. Here's the cat. I need to stitch it anyway for their trip. And so I had actually planned to take this with me and maybe have it to be a new start at New Jersey. And then when I saw that prompt, I thought, hey, here we go. This is perfection. I'm going to start it now. So I did. I started it for that prompt. I had to do 200 stitches in it. And so I got started. I've done way more than 200 now because I actually took a picture of it at 200, and it was a little bit of the face and the collar and the medallion. But none of the white had been filled in yet. So it's a great little piece, and it's going fairly quickly. Have a great week and weekend, what's left of the week, and the weekend of stitching. I hope to do a lot of beading and let that be my accomplishment for the weekend. Wouldn't that be something? I hope to see you soon. As soon as I have anything to share, I'll be back and record it for you. Happy stitching, everyone. Good night. Hi everyone, this is Dina. Welcome back to my channel. I came back today just to give you an update on a new start that I had yesterday. Today is Friday, July 19th, and I was able to finish up on this little cat, Japanese Lucky Cat. I started this for a card that I want to make for my husband and my son before they leave to go on their trip. I thought this would make a pretty little card for them. And I was gifted this pattern by a friend of mine, Aunt Gloria, and thank you, Gloria. I finished it now, and I'll share with you my finish. I also started it when I did yesterday so that I could participate in the final prompt for the Magical Stitches homework, which was to stitch on something with a kitty cat. So here it is. I think it turned out precious, and I think it turned out really good on this remnant of this fabric that I had left over from Halloween tricks. So here she is, lucky cat. I'm going to take her now off my Q-snap. I'm going to stitch a seam around the piece so that I can fray it in a way that it will fit in the card. I have one of those fold over cards that has the blank spot in the front for the cross stitch to fit. And I will have this ready for them. So really happy with that cute little finish. And now I can start beading my Flowers of the Holy Night. So I will get busy on that and hopefully have an update on it for you in a few days. Happy stitching, everyone. Have a great weekend. Hello, everyone. This is Dina, and today is Sunday. It is July 21st. And I just want to welcome you back to my channel. Those of you who are new subscribers, and I've had a few lately, I think someone must have shouted me out. Anyway, welcome. And if this is your first time coming back, I'm so glad you did. And for those of you who've been with me for a while, my deepest thanks that you continue to come back and visit with me. So today I have very exciting news to share with you. I have a finish, and this one has been one I've been working on for a while. It's been a long time coming. I started this piece on December the 10th, 2017, and so about a year and a half, maybe a little over a year and a half, and it is the Flowers of the Holy Night by Glendon Place. It is done on an antique white Lugana, and this is a 28 count, so it's a big one. But I did that on purpose because of all the bead work that was on it. I didn't want to fight with the beads on a 32 count because there are a lot of beads. So I will show you my finish, and I just finished it today. I have spent, this was the third day that I spent beading this piece, and I beaded for many hours. So this one is equivalent to a very heavily beaded Mirabilia in my opinion, but it is beautiful. I want to share it with you. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about it, and then I'm going to turn the camera around and give you some close-ups. But this piece I did on my roller frame, and I have not even pressed it. And look at how beautiful it still is. And I did all of the beading in hand. Just slipped my hands up under and one on top, and just did it slowly and methodically because I didn't want to put these beads through being rolled up on a roller frame. So I just did it in hand after I took it off. So I'll turn the camera around and I'll tell you a little bit more details about it as I show it to you up close. Okay, I've laid this out on a table so I can get a little closer to you and to the project for you rather, and give you some detailed information about this piece. First of all, I think part of the beauty of it are the variegated colors. This was stitched in the called for silks, and there are two colors that I will tell you are not as highly variegated, these two greens. So if you needed to save a little money, if you were trying to kit this up, these would be the two colors that I would say you could probably get by with doing DMC. But I highly recommend that you do the variegated silks that are called for, or at least variegated DMC or colors of another brand if you want to use cottons. The silk was beautiful to work with, but the variegation meant that I had to cross every X one at a time, which, as you know, slows you down, but it is so worth it. I want to start here in the middle and talk about this center poinsettia. You can notice it is heavily beaded. There is a treasure flower in the middle with a circle of treasure flowers around it, and then a circle of beads that extend out. This is very similar to all of the flowers, with the exception that they don't normally have a circle and they don't have as much on the sides. It's a little pared down. But one of the things that happened to me is that when I ordered the treasures, I ordered the right numbers, but somehow there was a mix-up in the sizes, because in the smaller flowers, these little flowers are small, and this center flower is much larger. You can see these are the same small flowers that are in the center of all the others, and this is the large one. When I got to beading this and putting the treasures on at the end, I discovered that somehow there was a mix-up in my order, and I don't know where the mix-up occurred. I don't know if I ordered the wrong number or if I got the wrong number in, but I was short 2 of the small flowers, and I had 2 extra of the big. So to make it work, I just used these big flowers across the middle so that they're in proportion to each other, and all of the other flowers are the small ones. So someone recently said on FlossTube, if you have a mistake and you don't want to undo it, then you highlight it. So that's what I did. I've now highlighted to you what happened with the beading. But after getting all of this beaded and having that to be the last thing I had to do, I'd be doggone if I was going to wait on these 2 little flowers. When I had 2, I could make work. So that's what I did. And I don't think you can really tell it that much. Now, these beads are absolutely beautiful, and this is all beaded. This whole center of every flower is beaded. This is nothing but beads in every one of these, and they are all around the piece, as you can see. So that there's a lot of beads. There are also beads inside these triangles of these leaves, and there are beads inside these leaves in both triangles, and there are different combos in each one. But you actually have 7 colors of beads, and that makes all of these combinations. I did order the called for number of packs of beads, and I was able to get everything done with beads left over. Now, there's not enough beads probably of every color to do this again, but they will certainly be a starting point for when I pass this pattern along to the person that I'm gifting it to. So once again, here is Flowers of the Holy Night. She's a big lady, and I intend to have her professionally framed, mainly because she's large, and I don't think I could buy anything off the shelf quite this big that I could work with, and I want to have her professionally stretched. So this is more of one of my what I would consider a family heirloom piece, so I want to take special care with her. I know you guys have been watching me put this together for quite some time, and I just want to thank you for coming along with me on this journey, and I hope that you have enjoyed it, and I am looking forward to enjoying this every Christmas as I bring it out and put it in my home. That's all for this finish, and I will talk to you again soon. Happy stitching, everyone. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Gina, and today is Monday, July 22nd. And I had gotten a telephone call today that one of my latest framing projects was ready. I had gone to my local Hobby Lobby because I had a great coupon and their framing materials were on sale. So I got a frame 50% off, custom frame, 50% off, because I went there to what I thought was to get fabric to make a pillow. And I couldn't find any Christmas fabric that went with this piece the way that I wanted it to. So I went over to all of the picture frames, and I looked and looked and looked, and I couldn't really find anything that I wanted to put with this piece. So I finally just went on back to the framing department because of my coupon and the big sale, and I thought, well, let me just see what it would take to get this done. And I'm so glad I did. I worked with the framing department, and they let me do my own lacing, my own pinning and lacing, and that saved me quite a bit of money. And I got one of the frames that was 50% off. And so for my my frame was only $35. So that was awesome. So anyway, I want to share with you my Christmas tea. I'll turn it this way, try to keep the glare off of it. Isn't that lovely? This is such a unique frame. I had not seen anything like it, but to me, it just looks great with that teacup. It's actually called Reverse Bevelon Bath. Isn't that neat looking? And my excitement really sold me on this piece when this mat was put down next to it. This mat's called Setting Sun. And I want you to see how beautiful that red matches that red in the piece. To me, it just set it off so beautifully. And then the little touch of green to pull out that green in the holly leaves. So, so pretty. So here it is. My little piece was so small because I thought I was going to make it into a pillow. And so it was on a remnant of fabric. And so the lady at Hobby Lobby said, I'll cut you a small piece of foam core for you to do your lacing and pinning, and then I will sandwich it in the middle of a bigger piece of foam core so it'll fit in the frame. Because my little piece right here is not much bigger than what you see there. Isn't that awesome? But it's sandwiched in between another foam core so that it's sitting in there and it's stable in the middle of the frame. This young lady at this Hobby Lobby where I live now is so helpful. And she loves it when I bring needlework in. She actually stopped this last time and went and put on gloves to handle my needlework. And she's a very young lady. So I was really pleased with how much care she's taking to handle my stuff. So I am thrilled to death with how this one has turned out. Christmas tea. Ann P, thank you for this pattern. I have already shared it. So someone else is now stitching it, I hope. And I just wanted to bring this to you because I just picked it up and I was so pleased with it. There you go. Hello again. Well, I've had a very productive afternoon. I went ahead and decided to pin and lace my Broderie à Paris and put it in the picture frame that I recently purchased for this. I am delighted to let you know it fits perfectly. Again, it's a off-the-shelf picture frame. It is from Hobby Lobby, and I got it for about $7.99. But I think it looks great with my Broderie à Paris. So here it is. I just love it. I think that this kind of, it's not a golden gold, it's more of a metallic looking I don't know, pewtery looking color. You're getting a good view of it if you're seeing what I'm seeing in my viewfinder. But I think it looks great with the wooden spools, and the tone of it looks wonderful with this fabric, that little background that's sort of neutral. Anyway, so this is my Broderie Paris. It's in a picture frame that just has a back that pops open like that. So I pinned and laced it around my foam core, and I knew that it would fit perfectly because when I opened the back in the store, I saw that it had a piece of cardboard that was about the thickness of my foam core. When I went to have my foam core cut for my little piece that I just showed you, my Christmas tea, the young lady in the frame shop said that they had two different thicknesses of foam core. They had a thinner and a thicker one. So she put a piece of the thin in here and it fit beautifully. So while I was there, I had her cut it for me. It was all of $2. So she cut that for me. I knew it would fit. In fact, she put it in this frame for me and just let me carry it out of the store that way because I had a ticket, you know, that had the $2 on it that I paid for at the register. So when I got ready to pin and lace this today, I just pulled out that piece of foam core, I cleaned the glass, and I put this pinned and laced it, and here is my Broderie Paris, and I think it fits really, really well in there. It's not perfect. The top and bottom have just a slight more room than the two sides do, but at least they're equal. The tops and bottom are equal, and the two sides are equal. And it's a kind of a rectangular piece anyway, so I like it just fine. And it allows me to frame another piece to have in my stitching room. And I just think that this color complements it well. I hope you like it. And I am thrilled with the results myself. So I'll be putting this up in my sewing room. And the fact that it's a picture frame, I've got this in the back, so I can just sit it up on my desk. I don't even have to put it on the wall yet, and I can already start enjoying looking at it. Thanks for letting me share this finish with you as well. Now it's an FFO, and I can start having it out in my sewing room. Hello everyone, welcome again. This is Tuesday, July 23rd, and I'm here to give you an update report. I finished my homework for this week. I worked on it yesterday and today. This is for School of Magical Stitches, and our assignment this week was to do one of two options, the first of which was to stitch 1,000 stitches on words, and the second option was to stitch 1,000 stitches in the color blue or black. All of this had to do with Professor Umbridge and the fact that, you know, she would make students in detention write "I must not lie," and she had a special quill that they wrote with, and when they were writing on the paper, it actually was scratching that message in their skin on their hand. It was very painful. She was a mean character, in case you haven't seen the movies. Spoiler alert. But anyway, I do not have one of my projects started that has that many words. I have one in my stash to do, but I wasn't ready to start another new start this month. I just had a big finish, and I'm trying to whittle my whips down since I have been starting something new every month, and since I did Mania, and so I'm down to 10 active whips. I'm very excited about that. I'm almost to my magic number of 8. Anyway, I decided that I certainly have a whip that will allow me to do 1,000 stitches in blue. This one. You see that background? That's all blue. So I knew that was going to work for me, and that's the one I chose to do. And this is great because I'm trying to stitch Christmas in July. How perfect is that? So I'll put a picture in for you to show you where it was when I started yesterday. And now I'll show you where I got to, 1,013 stitches later. Here we are. So here's some really nice fun facts. I did this entire block, which finishes this row. It's completely done. And I finished half of this block and the rest of this whole block. And so that finished that row. So once I do the back stitching on Santa, those two sections will be absolutely complete. That's pretty exciting. I have only 4 more rows of these and maybe half of a row at the bottom. So I am roughly a third of the way done with this. Isn't that nice? Oh, I was pretty excited to discover that. So School of Magical Stitches has really helped me move on this thing. Now, what is up for the rest of the week? Well, today there's a Mirasal in one of the Facebook groups that I follow. And so, since I'm trying to stitch Christmas in July, I had a brand new start for July that was Giggles in the Snow. And I just got a little bit of the boy's hat done. And so I'm gonna pick that back up today and I'm gonna stitch a little bit on that for that Sal. So here's my plans. It's all about School of Magical Stitches today. I finished the homework. I'm gonna stitch on my Giggles in the Snow for my Sal, but while I do that, I'm gonna watch the movie that's required for extra credit, the Order of the Phoenix. And then when I finish that, I'm gonna buckle down and I'm gonna work again on my Jumpin' Jack Frost, because now that I've gotten to here, this is Orange Pumpkin. And that's what I'm gonna work on. After I finish all of my goals today, the next big thing I have to do is start preparing my whips that I'm gonna take with me to New Jersey by doing some outline stitching so that I have blocks of color to fill in. That worked so well for me going to StitchCon that I'm gonna try it again. And that's what I'll be doing the rest of the week. And on Saturday, I have a stitching meetup at the library. I'll get to go stitch all day. And then as soon as that's over, I'll come home. Hopefully my son will be able to go with me if he's not on call. And we will head toward the airport. We're gonna pick my husband up from his most recent hiking trip that he's on right now. He is hiking in the Sierra Mountains and it's the first time he's been there. It's a very high altitude right now. I got a message from him last night that he is about at 10,000 feet now, and they're having to do very short hiking days so that they can spend several nights and days at that altitude before they can summit on Thursday, because it goes up to 14,000 feet and the oxygen is very thin. And so they're having to acclimate to it by doing short little hikes and spending some time, you know, at that altitude. So I can't wait to hear more from him. He doesn't have cell service there, so I'm getting, he's got an InReach Garmin that he bought for this trip, and he sends me texts that are pre-programmed. Most of the time just says, I'm at camp and all is well, or I've started my hike and all is well. So I know he's doing okay, but he broke out this week on a couple of times and sent me a personal text that he actually wrote. So he'll have to pay for those. But that's okay because I get to hear from him. I miss him terribly. I'm used to doing things with him every day. And so this has been quite a difference to have him be gone for 10 days. It's a long time. So I miss my best friend. Anyway, I'll welcome him home Saturday afternoon, evening. and we'll probably go to dinner and hear all about his trip, and I think that'll be just great fun. So I will be back when I have something to share with you again, hopefully in a day or two. If I get something accomplished today, I'll come back and share it with you. And I just appreciate so much you guys going along my stitching journey with me and letting me share everything with you as I go. It's so much fun to get to share it with someone else. So I thank you for that, and thank you for coming back and visiting with me. Happy stitching, everyone. Hello, everyone. This is Dina, and I am back to give you a bit of an update on how my goals are going today. I had mentioned that I was going to watch the movie for extra credit, The Order of the Phoenix, and I was able to do that. But as I sat down to watch the movie, I was going to stitch on my new start, my Giggles in the Snow by Mirabilia, and I got ready to pick up where I had left off in the snow shadows behind the little boy's head. I'll show this to you to kind of remind you. This little circle right back here. I had started with this little snow thing here and then moved over to his hat and had started that circle. So I was going to pick up right there and come on down and meet and do the face. Well, that's when I figured out I had picked the wrong color to blend with my B5200 when I started this piece. For some reason, I misread it, and instead of it being 3747, I grabbed 3047, which is a pale yellow. And we all know you don't want yellow snow. So anyway, I had to frog it. So I started the first part of the movie frogging, which, you know, that's easy enough. I just ripped it right out. But I had to redo it. So I was able to do that. And I did come down and do the face. And I went ahead and even backstitched the face because I just wanted this little boy to come alive. So let me show you where I got. I'm kind of proud of this. I did get all of what I frogged out here and here restitched in the correct blend. And then I came on down around and met up here and did the little boy's face. And I think he's precious. Absolutely precious. So that's my progress. I also did the back stitching on the little hat. So the head is finished. Next time I pick him up, I can start on the little scarf, I guess. Anyway, this has been so much fun. I'm enjoying this piece, and I'm glad I was able to do that. And I had forgotten so much of the Harry Potter movie, Order of the Phoenix. I remembered all the training that they did, but I had forgotten how mean and vindictive and hateful Professor Umbridge was. And so that was sort of an interesting, you know, review from it's been so long since I've seen the movies that it's like seeing them for the first time in many cases. I hope you're having a great day. I know I am. I'm really tickled that I got some progress on this new start and that I've met, you know, another prompt for extra credit today. So it's a good day, very productive. I hope you're enjoying what you're stitching on, and I hope to see you soon. Happy stitching. Hello everyone. Today is Wednesday, July 24th, and I'm here to give you an update. I did do some stitching in preparation for my retreat coming up in New Jersey on one of my whips. And then I decided I would put that away and I would save the next piece that I want to do some preparation stitching on for my stitching meetup on Saturday. And I think I had mentioned to you before that I had to redo extra stitches for this prompt. I had chosen to use Jumpin' Jack Frost for the prompt for fire, for stitching something in either red, yellow, or orange. And originally I had stitched on this piece, but I had done the boot and the stem and some leaves because I thought I had to stitch on a piece with those colors. when in actuality I had to stitch on those colors. So I went back and I did the red and orange and yellow in this pumpkin. I stitched 523 stitches, and that's where I got to. So I'm very pleased with that. I certainly hope that that meets the criteria, because the only colors I stitched were oranges and yellows. So I think that will meet the criteria. So now I've got that prompt met, and I'm back to only having one prompt, only one, that I have to meet now for it hitting the extra credit. So I will probably try to get that done tomorrow if I can, but I need to go back and review all of my sals and my groups and make sure I'm not missing anything. But tomorrow morning I will be doing something very unique and different for me. I was asked to portray a character in a children's program, for a children's program tomorrow. So I'm going to be the biblical character of Esther, and I'm going to tell her story to 3 different age groups of children at 3 different times tomorrow. And I understand I'm going to be dressed in a costume and all kinds of stuff. But I've been working on learning the story and all the details so that I can just tell it as if it's my own story. I'll let you know how that goes. I am not an actress. I've never been in plays or theater or anything. My husband is the one who does that. But I was asked by a very sweet lady if I would help her out, and I felt very strongly that the message that we're trying to deliver to these children are very positive messages, that you can do things for your community and for your family and for yourself, you know, that you didn't think you could do, and that you may be asked to do those in your lifetime. So I'm going to be talking about being strong and leaning on, you know, a strength outside of yourself in order to get that done. So wish me luck, and I'll give you a report kind of on how it goes. I haven't worked with children in a number of years, and so I'm hoping that I can develop a good rapport with all these different age groups tomorrow in the short amount of time that I have to be there with them. Well, I will come back and talk with you the next time I have something to share with you, and I hope that's not too long. But in the meantime, everybody, happy stitching. On time, it went okay. And that one went fine too. I just had to figure out what to leave out of the story without changing the message that we were trying to get. Well, that took most of the morning. But fortunately, my plans for today were easy to accomplish, because today I was working on one project for 2 different reasons. I had one final entry in the Team 24-hour that I needed to finish, and it was the O, and I had chosen to do an ornament for that. And one of the reasons that I chose it, not just because it fit for the O, but because I also had on my calendar an ornament sal for one of the Facebook groups. So that way I could meet both prompts with one item. So today I did Hens, which is the 3rd ornament in the Hands-On Design series, 12 days. And if you'll recall, I am doing mine on a red fabric as well. So here is my finish. Hens. I think they're precious. I started this when I got home today, and I just finished it a few minutes ago. Now I'm gonna stop and go eat dinner. Oh, it worked out really well. This ornament sal came at the perfect time of the month. In fact, I was waiting to finish the Team 24-hour acrostic until it was time for that sale so I could have it work for both. So what are my plans going forward now? I have now completed, as of today, both of my challenges for 24 hours. Of course, we're coming up, you know, pretty soon on another 24 hours of cross stitch, which I'm hoping to participate in if I can. And I am getting ready for a stitching meetup on Saturday, and I'm starting to prep my pieces to take with me, my projects that I want to take with me to New Jersey. And I have one final piece to do for the extra credit for July and August for School of Magical Stitches. So depending on how my day goes tomorrow, I could possibly do that one tomorrow, and that way I will have met all of my prompts and requirements for School of Magical Stitches that are the monthly ones, and I will have met all of the extras that I've been doing this month. And that feels kind of good, especially when I'm getting ready to go out of town. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I did have fun today. I did get to dress up in a costume, and the funniest thing that happened was one of the little children asked me if my crown was real. That was cute. I will put a picture in if I'm brave enough. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great month of stitching. I'm gonna close up this segment and probably look to see how long all of these are when I put them together, because it may be time to go ahead and close it out and you know, upload it for you, because I'm trying really hard to put these up before they hit an hour. And so I will try to look at it tonight and see how that looks for you. I am hoping to get some filming at the New Jersey Floss Tube Retreat, but I will make no promises because I will be there to meet and talk and visit and, you know, get to know everybody. So I very well may not do any filming, but if I do, you'll certainly be the first to know. I hope you have a great weekend coming up. I'm ecstatic because not only do I get to go to my stitching meetup, but my husband gets to come home from California, where he has been hiking in the Sierra Mountains. And I will insert a picture at the end of my husband at the summit of Mount McKinley. They made it. And he actually was able to call me from the top of the mountain. They had a telephone signal. First time he's had a telephone signal since he started the hike a week ago today. Well, I've been getting text through his satellite phone that are pre-programmed that just say, you know, that he's on the trail and all is well, or he's, you know, stopped for the night and all is well. But it was really nice to get to talk to him and find out how much fun he is having. Apparently this hike has been quite a challenge for him, and I can't wait to hear about it on Saturday night. So if there's some interesting tidbits, I'll share them with you in the next video. But for now, at the end, you'll see a picture of my husband at the summit of Mount McKinley that was just taken this morning. And until I get a chance to share with you again, I'll be watching your floss tube videos if you make them. I'll be looking at what you're sharing on Instagram and in the Facebook groups, and anxiously awaiting until we get to visit again. Thank you so much for stopping in and spending time with me. You have so many choices. I'm quite flattered that you do take some time to watch my videos and visit with me. I hope you're stitching while you do. Until we talk again, happy stitching.